Hello and welcome to Castle Farms Homestead. You might be noticing this big green container behind us. That's the house. Well, it's inside the container anyway. We've had some, well, mostly Clint's had some fun tracking them down, helping them get out here. But they're ready to go. We've got helpers here.
We're only 2.5 hours behind schedule.
That's nothing for out here.
I know.
That's basically on schedule.
Right on time.
Pretty exciting day. This is going to be exciting.
Let's get at it.
That, yeah, like
You're okay.
a lot of communication with China.
Wrong way.
So, at odd hours. So, yeah.
I guess that would be true.
Yeah.
Stop talking.
Oh,
All right.
microphone.
Okay, so this is what I was hoping the front was here.
Are those wheels? Casters.
Holy smokes. It does. So it will roll.
It'll roll out pretty readily. What's that?
Oh, it's got, so first view of the house. This is the front door. So everything folds out from there, but we were happy to find out that there's actually wheels on this thing. So it's got wheels on the underside and wheels on the side to prevent it from scraping up against the sides of the container. So that's pretty cool. I was really worried about how we were going to pull it out without scraping the heck out of it. So that's kind of nice. So right now we've changed plans midstream, and we're going to use a telehandler to help pull this out as opposed to the trailer. So we're getting that right now.
The house is here, right there, inside the shipping container, which we also purchased the shipping container, and it will go over here in back of the solar array to block the north wind and get filled up with lots of stuff. So we've got a team. There's Clint, Brady, we've got one Chris who's got a flatbed trailer, David's doing the crane, our friend Chris is on the telehandler that the co-op owns and rents out. We've got a few other people here watching and offering support. And then the poor semi driver is getting directed exactly where to put the semi. And we're happy that the weather's nice. It was sunny and nice this morning, and then it got real cloudy, and now it's sunny again. But it is cold. Don't let it deceive you. It's about 35 degrees with a breeze that we wish wasn't here this morning. I'm going to show you. Here's the pad where the house is going. Clint and Brady have worked hard on this. We brought in dirt, and then he brought in gravel and leveled it, and it's crazy, but the house just sits right onto the dirt. Some people do put it on pilings and things, but for better insulation, we're just putting it right onto the dirt. It's elevated about 18 inches from the rest of the lot. The idea is that with heavy rains, we won't get flooded. So now we've got all the brains over here who have some experience working, making a plan to have this work. Got a lot of precision that has to be done with huge heavy equipment. And we're pleasantly surprised that the house is on little roller wheels, and it's got a holes. I don't know what the right word is. Openings up at the top to attach straps to. So they planned ahead for this part of it happening. We've never done this before, and has big consequences if it doesn't go well. Clint asked Chris yesterday to come because he figured another brain with experience on doing crazy things out at the ranch might be helpful. And Chris ended up driving the telehandler for us, which we weren't planning on using, but all the guys decided today that was a good idea. So I'm just staying out of their way and letting them all figure it out because they have more knowledge than I do on how to do this project that none of them have done before. But between all of them, they've got experience doing things with heavy equipment and building. Hopefully between all these people and experience, things will go smoothly. So far, so good. Other than the truck driver got a bit lost. Clint was planning on going out to meet him and lead him in. I think he had a little harder time finding the truck than he expected to. It's tricky to get out here to the ranch, and as someone who doesn't memorize geography and navigation, there's a few spots where Clint says you just follow the main road. Well, there's a couple places where it's not clear which fork in the road is the main road. To say Clint was a little nervous last night would be an understatement. He's had this all planned out in his head and on paper, but then once you start doing it, you don't know if your plan's going to work until you're executing it. So hopefully it works. It's a little different when you're doing it with real things than with Tonka trucks and toys. And pretty dire consequences if the house gets dropped. Since we don't have another plan for where to live if this gets damaged. We're 10 minutes in and making progress. Oh, there's another guy, Alan. He's got experience in construction also, and he and his wife moved out here full time a few months ago and in a fifth wheel. And they're really excited for us. They're hoping this goes well because they're considering buying one also. If it goes as well as we're hoping, it could be a really good solution for a lot of people out here to have a little more semi-permanent home, a good interim home instead of a fifth wheel while you're building your permanent structure. Brady is going to be climbing up on top to hook the crane hook onto the house. We were talking about it last night and this morning, and I said, would that scare you to do that? And he was like, no, not at all. Which makes me really grateful that he's here because I would be terrified. I don't like heights. It's not the height that bothers me. It's the fear of falling and smacking into the ground. So Floyd's holding the ladder. We've got a lot of people from our community are out here to help us out. It's kind of a big deal when someone has a house delivered. Eric's giving Brady the more chain. Actually, our community is great. When people have a big project, they put the word out on a text thread, and and let people know details and ask for help. And the nice thing about doing this in an off-grid community is that there's so many people with so much varied knowledge and specialties that things get done. I mean, we've just got a lot of people who've been in different arenas of the construction world and DIY and life experience and military. So there's usually somebody who's got something to contribute when people have a big project going on and come together and help. And everybody wants everybody to succeed. So everyone's willing to donate some time and help each other out. It's been great. And then there's also people out here who are doing things as a business, and so you're going to pay for their time and their equipment, which we're doing some of that today. But it's great. It really helps how we all work together. It would be a lot harder if we were just on property like outside of town all by ourselves. It would be a lot harder to do anything. And then we're extra blessed out here. A lot of people are jealous because we've got Brady. So between Clint and Brady, they can get a lot more done than people where it's just a husband and wife trying to get stuff done. I mean, if it was me and Clint, we'd be in trouble because I'm not very strong. You can see that there's wheels on the bottom, which helps getting it out of the container, which I guess would be pretty helpful if you were putting it on a concrete pad, which we're not. Whoa. Oh. Clint knows that one stride of his is 3 feet, so he's measuring things off. His feet used to be 12 inches long, but now they're longer than that. So he knows how to pace off a yard at a time and measure things. So he was just measuring how much of the semi, or how much of the house is out of the semi. It's a very convenient skill to have. And I know his feet used to be 12 inches long because when Brady and our daughter Sabrina were in kindergarten, they had a math project where they were learning about feet and yards and inches. And they had to see if they could find someone with a 1 foot. And most of the kids couldn't, but ours could because that's how big their dad's feet were. But back then, I think he wore size 15, and now Clint's graduated up to size 18, 17, 18, right there with Brady. Oh, fun fact, when Brady was in kindergarten, they measured everyone's feet to learn how to make a chart. Brady's feet were bigger than his kindergarten teacher's feet when he was 6 years old. It's 40 feet long, so I think it's like 2/3 out of the container so far. Okay, I honestly don't know how that's working when it comes out of the crane all the way, and it looks like our tractor is involved. So, I don't know. I'm just staying out of the way and not asking questions and letting the people who know what they're doing do it. And there's just a light wind, but man, it makes it cold when it's 35 degrees. We need less clouds because it's cooling off. About 4 feet left. And I don't understand how it's not going to drop when it comes out. I don't like those sounds. It's been about 40 minutes so far, this process. Oh, Eric says 5 more feet. Our friends who had one out here already, theirs is 20 feet long, so the same idea, but not. So theirs came just on the back of a flatbed semi. So they didn't have the pulling it out of the container to deal with. And they bought theirs at an auction. Or we custom ordered ours. Let's see what it's like underneath.
On the outside. On ours, it's in.
Oh, really?
Which makes it so that it's more insulated.
Yeah.
That that worries me a little bit.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, for sure.
So just, I took some pictures. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
Just, yes,
Thank
just
you.
to point it out.
Yes, I appreciate that. That's our friend who has the smaller one, and she said their plumbing is on the inside, ours is on the outside, which I'm glad she thought to look for that. Is a little concerning for the insulation factor. So might have to be wrapping some pipes, and I don't even know how that's going to work. Now would be the time to wrap them. So we're trying to figure out how to solve this situation
Right now we need to get it off.
easy as possible. Because
That was not expected.
yeah,
Okay, where's
I'm
Chris
glad
go?
Kim thought to look at that. So because we live where it freezes, that's an issue, because pipes freeze. I know when we lived in Sacramento, I was a property manager, and we had a really cold winter, and pipes kept freezing, and I had tenants who were not happy with me that their pipes were freezing, and I had one guy yell at me because he was from Wisconsin and said their pipes never froze. Well, in Sacramento, they bury pipes about 6 inches deep. And we had a couple weeks of temps down in the 20s. And then the sun would shine. Onto the concrete and melt some of the pipes. So people on the south and west were getting their pipes thawed, but people facing north and east weren't, and they were getting mad at me. And I'm like, pipes are freezing all over the town. It's not my fault. And I actually quit that job soon after that because it was just too stressful. And then I started running childcare at a health club. And I liked babysitting kids better than babysitting adults. Here's where the house is going to go. And the back of the house will face this way, the road. So our kitchen window and our master bedroom window will face the road. The front of the house will face this direction, which is south. Which is east, sorry. And we'll have a beautiful view, not of the fifth wheel because that will get moved, but of the mountains. And there's our pretty little shed. There's our pretty shed on the beautiful mountains that will actually have a nice view. But we'll have a nice view from the front. I'm really excited because the front doors are glass. I'll probably be putting some privacy screen on the front windows because they're glass. And I'm excited to have the light, but don't necessarily want people walking up to the front door to see right inside. It's been about an hour of this project. I don't know if we're down to plan Z right now or what, but it's going to be happening one way or another, and hopefully without too much trouble. We're gonna have to figure out how to solve the uninsulated pipes underneath, because we do get cold temps out here. So this year has not been too bad. We can't complain, but you need to plan for cold winters so that you don't get caught and have frozen pipes and floods and things. We actually had a house in Nebraska that had crazy amounts of rainfall, and our basement flooded because the water came in through the walls the ground just couldn't soak it up anymore. And lots of people who had never had floods before had floods. So we cleaned that all up and put everything in the basement up on pallets. So if it happened again, we'd be okay, and boxes and things wouldn't get wet. It was an unfinished basement. And then a couple months later, I thought I heard rain inside the house. And I went and looked at the basement, and there was a broken pipe up in the above the second story. And Clint was actually owned a roofing company at that time, and he didn't like the way the house had been designed, and that always bothered him. But of course, he owned his own company and never had time to work on our place. And it was a freezing cold day in Nebraska, and that pipe broke. So then it rained in our basement, and it didn't really matter that we had everything up on pallets because it still got wet. So, but you got to try to plan the best you can. And there's our pretty front doors that are pretty much just solid glass. Oh, okay. Clint on our tractor, our little tractor. Say hi. He's crossing his fingers there. So the plan is for the telehandler and our little tractor to hold the far end of it to get it out of the shipping container. We'll see. We had prayer this morning before we started. Clint and I did. And we sent out text messages to family asking them to pray also that things would go well. So far the wind is just breezy and cold, but not strong enough to cause any problems. And the sun's out, so that's good. And we have a bunch of smart people here, so that's good. So hopefully all goes well. It looks like they're looking for something, maybe insulation, I'm guessing. We have lots of foam insulation around from insulating the shed. Thinking they're probably looking for some of that to put between the telehandler and the plumbing. Nope, they're looking for poles. Wood? Luckily, everybody knows each other out here, and they're communicating well and working together. And I'm trying not to be nervous for Alan, who's underneath our house. All the planning in the world doesn't mean that you won't have to do something differently when you're in the situation. Isn't that a lesson for life? We've got 7 people putting their heads together on this. And Chris, who came for moral support, is playing an integral role of driving the telehandler. It's nice to have good friends who will help you out when you get yourself into crazy situations.
Luckily, we realized this is probably a bad idea. And we noted that we were able to pull the house further out and actually get the chains around the holes in the other end so that we would be able to get the whole house weight on the crane instead of trying to catch it with our tractor. Unfortunately, we didn't have the chains taut as much as we should have. We didn't have the house lifted up a little bit like we should have when pulling it out that last little bit, and it dropped a touch and broke some of our plumbing. Just some of the connections that were sticking out the very back end snapped off. Luckily, our friend Lance was here to help us, and he grabbed all the broken pieces so that he could grab the right parts for us, and came back the very next day and replaced the broken parts for us. It was great.
Now it's got to go to the middle of the pad. Corner, so it's going in the middle of the stakes. It's got to go that way about 7 feet.
Well, it's sitting here. We can't open it up yet because we got to fix some plumbing underneath. We didn't know the plumbing would not be insulated and a little bit got broken off. So we'll fix that. Let's see if I can see inside though. Nope, we can't.
Well, it's 4 hours later, and we finally have the house placed here behind us, and behind that, we had the shipping container as well.
Are there icicles hanging from my ears?
It's like 40 degrees according to my car thermometer that I was sitting in the car to film the last part.
40?
Because
Doesn't take into account wind chill.
Yeah.
yeah, I know,
With
but
15 mile per
that
hour
was without
winds.
the wind though. Yeah.
That makes it pretty cold out here. My fingers have been freezing all freaking day long.
Yeah. I had gloves on and my fingers were cold holding
But
the camera.
it's exciting having this out here. It looks, what am I saying? It looks big.
I'm really
It looks
shocked.
long.
40 feet long.
Yeah, that took a lot longer than I anticipated.
Way
I thought it
longer
would
than
be
I thought.
shorter
I thought
than
like
that.
an
I thought
hour.
it'd be pretty smooth, but there was a lot going into that. It took a little work.
Just
And a lot of brains.
little tiny changes and
Yeah.
long pauses of what do we do? But
I think Plan Z finally worked.
yep.
I know. But it's here. That's the main thing.
And
And I don't know if you caught it on video, but we broke the plumbing on the back end of it, pulling it off the trailer. And we found out there's plumbing underneath it, so we're going to have to insulate it and
that.
stuff. So there's stuff we're going to have to do before we actually even unfold it. So That was really helpful me to
Unfortunately,
unfold it
I
today.
wanted to walk through it today.
I know.
But we'll do that another time, not right now. Because right now, we're going to get something to eat. We're going to get
Hot
some
soup.
hot chocolate in
Hot
us.
cocoa.
And we're going to say, thank you, Homesteader wannabes, for watching us get one step closer. Let us know stuff in the comments. I don't care. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you next time on Castle Farms Homestead.